Gotta love it, gotta love it. Well, we had our show yesterday over at the fairgrounds. Follow me through the intro and we'll get back to it in a little bit. Well, we had our show yesterday, and as you can see, I was just having a little fun running the the Tampa Chief. Anyway, I'm sure you want to see my big haul from yesterday, so I've kind of got that over here. As you can see there, I got two little cars here. What they are is flat metal stampings with and these I figured these are probably good to be on a backdrop next to a building, which shouldn't even be this. These are obviously not O scale, so they could be on a backdrop, you know, where the building maybe parked next to a building that also wouldn't be O scale. And two of them, I got those for $0.25. They were in a baggie for $0.25 off a Zitnik's table. Then I got, well, I'll show you here. All right. Then, well, this was just an extra that was sitting there. Straight piece of Lionel track. I found it with the same guy that had this on hand. Figure, okay, why not? This is an 072 piece of track, and the reason I needed this, and I got them for $3 a piece. I said, what the heck? It was the only O gauge track the guy had, so I thought, okay. You know, try to walk into a hobby store or a train store and pay $3 for a piece of track. Even if it's used, he's not going to let you have it for no $3. But over here on this curve, on that curve there, I've got one that somehow I believe that a piece of 048 got mixed in there. The curve is not correct, even though I've never said anything or done anything about it. I figured I'd go ahead and pick up another piece of 072 fast track at some point and we'd get that fixed, or I would end up redoing the whole curve with Gargrave's track. That was certainly a possibility. But no, what it is, I believe there's a piece of 048 that got stuck in there, and I didn't check it when I bought it, so I had that one piece of 048 in there. And instead of having all the proper track, most of my 072 curves I picked up at, well, obviously a train sale or a train show, because you could always, I got most of them for like $5 a piece, which at the time you couldn't find any 048 or 072 track anywhere. You could find 048, you could find 036, you couldn't find 072. Finally, Dana ordered some, and he had some, but I just happened to have picked up 8 pieces. I picked up the last 2 pieces Dana had at the time of 048 or 072. And then a few weeks later, we had a train sale, and I ran into a guy that had 8 pieces of 072. And I thought, okay, well, that gets me closer. And then when Dana got it in again, then I had I was able to get enough. I got 6 more pieces of track, which put me up to the 16 I needed to make basically 4 curves or a full circle. So I thought, one of them, as it turns out, is probably a piece of 048. It doesn't fit right over there. And once I get this piece in, that curve will be straightened out like it should be and be a proper curve. Anyway, that being said, let me get this down here with the rest of the track so I'll lose it and won't have it. And then I picked up a couple of cars. I got them both for $10 from the same guy. Figured that's not too bad. This here is a nice 49 Ford. Obviously a 2-door. Doors open, hood opens, trunk opens. Pretty nice model. It's got suspension. The wheels turn up front, that sort of thing. I'm sure it's probably a fairly cheap model. For those of you that don't know, I'm also a car guy. Then he also had this one here, which is a 57 Ford panel delivery, or what do they call them then? Delivery sedan or something like that. Sedan delivery, that's what they call them. This one is actually a bank, which I'm cool with that. Obviously, it's done up in police markings, which is all right. Now that was the big haul. I did not get a chance to get out and actually make video of the show itself. There was plenty of stuff there, and but I'll tell you, sometimes these shows, they kind of drive you up a wall because you end up in a quagmire there, and you don't end up ahead. Okay, like so here we are yet again, and the show yesterday was kind of lackluster for me. Now, while some of the people that were around me were making plenty of money, let me get this thing straightened out. Alrighty. While some people around me were making plenty of money, I was sitting there doing nothing. I was sitting there, I wasn't moving a thing. It was the show started at 8 o'clock in the morning, when they let the early birds in. Those that pay an extra $1 to get in. And the guy right next to me, my buddy Kevin, of course, he's making, he done made $400 right off the bat. I said, damn, where's mine? So, we were, I'm not bitching really. It's great that he was able to do that. My friend Bob, right across the aisle from me, I was surrounded by friends. Vernon and his wife were behind me, selling their N-scale stuff. My friend Bob was over there selling a bunch of his HO scale stuff and N-scale stuff. And, he typically does quite a bit at that particular type of show when they're working that venue. This time he said he didn't make hardly anything. So he and I, we just sat there twiddling our thumbs at each other most of the day. But because my wife couldn't be with me, she was over in the rehab center for right now, and because she couldn't be with me, I couldn't get out and do what I normally do, which is to do a lot, because I couldn't get away from my table for very much. I got away just long enough to go and do the necessary things and to get a lunch and things like that. Of course, our food vendor didn't show up, or they let them know the night before, and they of course prepared for it because there's a kitchen there. When they can't get a food truck to come in or something, they'll open up the kitchen and they'll serve hot dogs and they'll go to Sam's Club and get a bunch of hot dogs, and they'll get a bunch of hamburger buns or hot dog buns and some other stuff. And they don't do too bad, really. Their hot dogs are generally pretty good. They're boiled, but they're good. Because you go to Sam's Club, get some good beef franks. They're usually pretty good. And they get the condiments they're going to need, which at Sam's Club you can buy them all in one neat package, right? But I mean, for $5.50 for a hot dog, chips, and a drink, that's $5.50 ain't nothing these days. That was pretty good, and it tasted pretty good. So I'll give Joe and the crew credit for that. Joe and his wife credit for that. I finally did sell a few things. Never for, obviously these train shows are nothing but yard sales, for model trains anyway, these days. So I didn't make a whole lot. I was able to sell a little here, a little there, but I wasn't able to do very well. So, and part of the reason is, and part of the reason some of the bigger vendors there weren't doing so well, probably doing lackluster. And I saw people carrying bags full of stuff out, because, everybody saves their Walmart or Publix bags and then they use them for the shows. But we figure, okay, we're a week away from Black Friday. Like 6 days away from Black Friday and Thanksgiving. People are hanging on to their money for, you guessed it, Black Friday. So we have that to contend with. We didn't have any other shows in the area to contend with, so that was not an issue. Another thing that I think is probably more of an issue, and especially if we have nothing else to contend with, a lot of it's got to do with the economy. If I'm not getting hardly any work, because, this last week I got 1 day. The week before I got 1 day. The week before that I got no days of work. So, I'm working on very minimal money here. Now, you might be asking, well, why aren't you? Well, because everybody's cutting back. All of the businesses we take care of, many of them are cutting back. They're not coming up on the job stack. They're not, nothing. So, with all these people cutting back, especially developers that are building homes and things like that. First of all, we need to get the interest rates down. So that's on a national level. The interest rates need to come down by quite a bit, I might add. People are not going to buy houses with the interest rates up to 7 and 8%. No. And the prices. See, when you take they're charging $500,000 to $700,000 for a house. A standard house is, and now I'm talking a nice house, but they're sitting on inventory. Well, what happens when the housing market sits on inventory? Guess what? So does the hobby market. The only inventory outfits aren't sitting on would be like groceries. So, and that's because everybody needs groceries. So that's why that is the way that it is. I didn't buy much yesterday. A lot of people that were coming through there didn't buy much yesterday. Now, if it doesn't matter why they didn't spend a lot of money at the train show. Now, the next Regal show in the area is going to be down in Newport Richey. And that's on, well, you guessed it, days before Christmas. 5 days before Christmas. It's on the 20th of December. Okay. Down in Newport Richey. I don't have the address on me for those in that area that might be willing to go there. But y'all know where it's going to be usually ahead of time if you pay attention at your local hobby dealer, if you have one. And you've got Zitnik Trains down there in Pinellas Park anyway, so he's going to have a listing of it, and he'll be at the show. The Lionel Train Days show will be here at Dana's on the 6th of December. Dana's a stickler and probably will not allow anything that like MTH or K-Line. Come on, K-Line is Lionel. Yeah. Or Williams. Williams is Lionel. But he'll allow a lot of Lionel on that day. It's really a pretty fun little activity. It's not everybody is setting up to sell or anything like that there in the parking lot. And they do get quite a bit of visitors because it's related to Lionel trains. So, because it's the Lionel Train Days, and Dana's one of the authorized dealers that actually promotes it. And that's okay. Just a week later, we'll be having our show at Dana's. Our train sales day at Dana's, which I believe it's like the 13th or something like that. Again, I'll have to look it up to see what it is. My wife says I shouldn't go to that one, but I kind of planning on it anyway. It's far enough away from Christmas and far enough away from New Year, I'm sorry, it's way far from New Year's. It's just, a couple of weeks before Christmas, and it's a couple of weeks after Thanksgiving. So, it's kind of in between, and people are still looking to do things. So I kind of plan on being at that show. And then if it doesn't look like it's going to pick up any more than I had it yesterday, I probably will lay off of the shows for a while. At Dana's, I very seldom ever have a problem getting video footage. Yesterday, I just couldn't get out from behind the table because, there were tons of people going by. The problem was they were going by and not dropping dollars. But then again, that's what happens. I don't get it sometimes, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles every once in a while. Anybody can have a bad show. There were people there that had a pretty good show yesterday. I just wasn't one of them. I'm hoping to get a good stock of some decent stuff in to do a good show later on. But until I do, I'm kind of stuck and without any cash flow right now because I haven't been working. I'm having to depend on the shows themselves to bring me any extra money that I might be able to get my hands on. And that's an issue. I got bills just like anything else. So when my Social Security check comes in, Well, it's pretty much already gone too. Oh, but you know, I'm thankful that my health insurance has a grocery program. You know, the wife and I, we each get so much per month on those, on our program cards. And by the way, that's never affected by a government shutdown. But because we're on Medicare, we get it with the insurance policies we have. So, I am sorry that I didn't get you the footage because, yeah, it was exciting there yesterday, but again, I couldn't get out from my table except to do just the bare minimal things that everybody has to do. So, let me get back to the train here, and we'll run it around a few more times. Oh, I want to remind everybody, Bill B's holiday boxcar challenge is up. So if you're going to, you know, you may want to check into that. I believe that Dave of D.A. Griffin Hobby, that channel is taking the mantle this year. So, but it's there, and you'll be able to get into the challenge. It's not a real competition. It's just a matter of getting out and having fun with your trains. And by all means, I'm all for that. And I may even put up another boxcar challenge video. Anyway, until next time, happy railroading.